Hello friends, our today's lecture is based on class 10th, chapter number 2 of Supplementary Reader Footprints Without Feet, and the chapter's name is The Thief's Story. So, as the name suggests, this is a story about a thief, and there's no name mentioned of the thief in the whole story. So now let's discuss about the writer. So the writer of this chapter is Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond is the writer of the chapter The Thief's Story. Ruskin Bond is a very famous writer. He has written many short stories, novels and poems. So now let's read the introduction of the chapter. A young boy makes friends with Anil. Anil trusts him completely. Does the boy betray his trust? That means a young boy became a friend of Anil. Anil is another young man of about 25 years, and the boy Anil trusts the another boy, young boy, completely and employs him to work for him, but without pay. So, does the boy betray his trust? This means that does the young boy cheated with Anil or not? So let's read the chapter and find out. So let's scroll down and now read the chapter. I was still a thief when I met Anil. This means that the author itself is the thief. That means in the story the narrator is the thief, and the narrator is telling that he was still a thief when he met Anil, and though only 15. This means that the narrator is only 15 years old. I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. So what this sentence means, I was an experienced and fairly successful hand. This means that he was he was only 15 years old, but he was very experienced in stealing. This means that he was a robber and he was very experienced in stealing others or robbing other people. Until or unless he was a small boy, then also he was very good in that. Anil was watching a wrestling match when I approached him. This means that this is a location of a wrestling arena, and Anil was watching a wrestling match. He was about 25, and by seeing Anil, the narrator tells that he was around 25 years old, and he was a tall, lean fellow. That means he was tall also and lean fellow, and he looked easygoing, kind of a simple and enough for my purpose. Now here the narrator tells that he looked very easygoing. That means a person who believes in anyone very easily, and he was also kind and simple. He was looking very kind and simple, and he was perfect for his purpose. This means the narrator was a thief, and what could be his purpose? His purpose could be stealing, and he was perfect for his purpose because he can easily rob a person who is easygoing. That means who believes anyone easily. So by seeing the face of Anil, the narrator was able to find out what kind of person was Anil. And he looked easygoing. I hadn't much luck of late and thought I might be able to get into the young man's confidence. This means that now narrator wanted to get into the young man's confidence, Anil's confidence, and be his near one. You look a bit of a wrestler yourself. Now the robber says to Anil, you look a bit of a wrestler yourself. This means that he was saying you look like a wrestler. I said, a little flattery helps in making friends. Now here the narrator says that there is something of buttering helps in making friends with anyone. So do you. Then Anil replied to the narrator that you also look like a wrestler. He replied, which put me off for a moment because at that time I was rather thin. Now here the narrator tells that that put him off for a moment. That means it made him to think that because he was very thin those days, the narrator was very thin those days and he was not like a wrestler. Well, I said modestly, I do wrestle a bit. What's your name? Hari Singh. Now Anil asks, what's your name? So the narrator replies, Hari Singh. I lied. Then the narrator says he lied because his name was not Hari Singh. I took a new name every month. That kept me ahead of the police and my former employers. Now, this sentence means that he changed his names whenever he met a new person in order not to get hold of the police or cops and to get rid of his former employers. That means the persons whom he has betrayed earlier. After this introduction, Anil talked about the well-oiled wrestlers who were grunting, lifting and throwing each other about. Now after this introduction, Anil talked with this narrator about the well-oiled wrestlers who were just wrestling, grunting, lifting and throwing each other. I did not have much to say. Now the narrator has not much to say because he didn't wrestle. Anil walked away. I followed casually. Hello again, he said. Now Anil replied when he was following. Hari Singh was following him. He replied hello again when he saw the narrator. I gave him a most appealing smile. I want to work for you. The narrator said that he wanted to work for him. But I can't pay you. Anil replied that I can't pay you. So let's move to the next page. I thought that over for a minute. Perhaps I had misjudged my man. I asked, can you feed me? Now the narrator thought for a minute that he thought that he would be very rich person, but he was not very rich. He was unable to pay him. So he was thinking that I shall have misjudged my man, for which I want to rob. So can you feed me? Then the narrator asked to Anil that can you feed me? Now Anil asked, can you cook? I can cook. I lied again. This means the narrator said that he knows how to cook, and now then he tells that he lied it. If you can cook, then maybe I can feed you. If you can, then may I can feed you. That means then Anil replied that if you can cook, so I can feed you. He took me to his room over the Jamuna sweet shop and told me I could sleep on the balcony. Now Anil takes the author to his room and he says that you can sleep in the balcony. But the meal I cooked that night must have been terrible because Anil gave it to a stray dog and told me to be off. Now the author tells that the narrator tells that the meal he cooked was terrible because the Anil throwed the meal off to a stray dog. He didn't like the food and he gave the food to a stray dog. But I just hung around, smiling in my most appealing way, and he couldn't help laughing. Later he patted me on the head and said, never mind, he'll teach me to cook. And after some time, Anil said to the narrator that he will teach him how to cook. He also taught me to write my name and said he would soon teach me to write a whole sentence and to add numbers. I was grateful. I knew that once I could write like an educated man, there would be no limits to do what I could achieve. It was quite pleasant working for Anil. I made tea in the morning and then would take my time buying the day's supplies, usually making a profit of about ₹1 a day. Now Anil had put the narrator for his work, and the narrator made him tea in the morning and then buy the daily day's supplies from the market. And the leftover money, the balance, he kept with him without telling the young man Anil. So I think he knew I made a little money this way, but he did not seem to mind. Now he thought that Anil came to know that he was stealing his money, that he was saving 1 or 2 rupees a day from the daily day supplies, but Anil did not mind. So let's move to next page. Anil made money by fits and starts. He would borrow 1 week, lend the next. He kept worrying about his next check, but as soon as it arrived, he would go out and celebrate. It seems he wrote for magazines, a queer way to make a living. This means that now the narrator tells that Anil was a writer and he writes for magazines, and he had a very unusual pay. And when he wrote for a magazine, he would get a check, and when he would get a check, he would go out and celebrate. One evening, he came home with a small bundle of notes, saying he had just sold a book to a publisher. Now this means the young boy Anil had wrote a book and he sold the book to a publisher, and he gave him money for it. At night, I saw him tuck the money under the mattress, and at night the narrators saw Anil tucking the money under the mattress. I had been working for Anil for almost a month, and apart from cheating on the shopping, had not done anything in my line of work. Now here the narrator tells that he was working for Anil for about a month, and except of cheating on the shopping, that means when he saved 1 or 2 rupees from the shopping, he has not done anything in his line of work. And which is his line of work? Stealing, robbing. Yes, I had every opportunity for doing so. Anil had given me a key to the door, and I could come and go as I pleased. This means that Anil had complete trust on this boy and narrator, and he had given him the key of the door for his room, and he could enter and come whenever he pleased. That means he had the keys, so he can enter or go out whenever he wanted. He was just the most trusting person I had ever met. Now the narrator tells that he was the most trusting person and I had ever met. That means he has never met any person who is more trusting than Anil, and that is why it was so difficult to rob him. Now the narrator says that it was very difficult to rob him because he was very trusty person and he was trusting him. So it was easy to rob a greedy man because he can afford to be robbed, because his behavior towards the person would be very bad. But a man who trusts yourself and has a full confidence on you, it is very difficult to betray his trust. But it's difficult to rob a careless man. Sometimes he does not even notice he has been robbed, and that takes all the pleasure out of the work. That means it has no pleasure to rob a man who is careless man, and who doesn't even notice he have been robbed. Well, it's a time I did some real work. I told myself, I am out of practice, and if I don't take the money, he will only waste it on his friends. After all, he doesn't even pay me. Now, the author is telling that, narrator is telling that he told himself that he has to rob him because he was not even paying him for his work, and if he will get the money, he will waste it only on his friends. So now Anil was asleep. A beam of moonlight stepped over the balcony and fell on the bed. Now a beam of moonlight fell on the balcony because the author was sleeping in the balcony. I sat up on the floor considering the situation. If I took the money, I could catch the 10:30 express to Lucknow. Now the narrator has planned everything in his mind that if he would rob Anil now, so he could catch the 10:30 express to London. That means the time was the train which went to London on 10:30 p.m. because it was night, and he could now go to London. Slipping out of the blanket, I crept up to the bed. Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined. Even I had more marks on my face, though mine were mostly scars. Now the narrator has slipped into the young boy's room, Anil's room, and he saw that Anil was sleeping peacefully. His face was clear and unlined because this unlined phrase means that he was without tension, he was without worries, he was not with any tension in his mind, and he was sleeping peacefully. My hand slid under the mattress, searching for the notes. Now, the narrator slid his hand over the mattress for searching the notes. When I found them, I drew them out without a sound. And when he found them, when he caught hold of the notes, he get them out without any noise. Anil sighed in his sleep and turned on his side. Now Anil sighed in his sleep and turned his sides towards the narrator. I was startled and quickly crawled out of the room. He was scared. The narrator was now scared, and he quickly crawled out of the room. He quickly got out of the room. When I was on the road, I began to run, and when he got out of the house on the road, he began to run. I had the notes at my waist, held there by the strings of my pajamas. I slowed down to a walk and counted the notes. 600 rupees in 50s. That means there were 600 rupees and each note was of 50 rupees. I could live like an oil-rich merchant for a week or two. Now, here the the narrator is telling, now with these 600 rupees, he could live like a rich Arab, oil-rich Arab for a week or two. This phrase tells that the Arabs are very rich because they sell oil, because there is very much oil in Arab like South Asian countries. So let's move to the next page. Okay, so let's slide down it. So next page, you can see the image of stealing the money by the narrator. When I reached the station, I did not stop at the ticket office. I had never bought a ticket in my life. Now, when the narrator has reached the station, the railway station, he didn't wait to get a ticket because he has never bought a ticket in his life. He just climbed into the train without a ticket, but dashed straight to the platform. The Lucknow Express was just moving out. The train had still to pick up speed and I should have been able to jump into one of the carriages, but I hesitated for some reason I can't explain, and I lost the chance to get away. Now here the author tells that he can ride the train by running because the train was leaving, but it has not caught his speed. It was moving very slowly, so he could get into one of the carriages, but he hesitated in doing so. But he cannot explain the reason for why he hesitated in doing so, and he lost the chance to get away. When the train had gone, I found myself standing alone on the deserted platform. Now when the train has gone, the narrator found himself alone in that deserted platform, railway station's platform. I had no idea where to spend the night. I had no friends, believing that friends were more trouble than help. This means that he had no friends, and if he had some, so they were not helping him. They were only creating big problems for him. And I did not want to make anyone curious by staying at one of the small hotels near the station. and he also did not want to stay in any small hotels near the station. The only person I knew really was the man I had robbed. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar, and then he thought that there is only one person who can help him, and he was the person whom he has robbed. That means the person is Anil. Leaving the station, I walked slowly through the bazaar. In my short career as a thief, I had made a study of men's faces when they had lost their goods. The greedy man showed fear. This means that when greedy men got robbed, they show fear. The rich man showed anger. When the rich man got robbed, they showed fear. They showed anger. The poor man showed acceptance. But I knew that Anil's face when he discovered that the thief would show only a touch of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the loss of trust. And he knew that when Anil got to know that his most trusted person has betrayed him, robbed him, he would get very sad. Not in order to that he was robbed, but because he was lost his trust, because the person lost his trust. I found myself in the Maidan and sat down on a bench. The night was chilly. It was early November, and a light drizzle added to my discomfort. And the night was very chilly because it was a November night, and a light drizzle added to his discomfort. Now some light drizzling, light raining came, and it added to the narrator's discomfort. Soon it was raining quite heavily, and then it started raining heavily there. My shirt and pajamas stuck in my skin, and a cold wind blew the rain across my face, and then cold wind drew the rain across his face. I went back to the bazaar and sat down in the shelter of the clock tower. The clock showed midnight. That means that this was the time of midnight. I felt for the notes. That he checked for the notes. They were damp from the rain. That means due to the rain they were wet, very much wet, because the rain has made the notes also wet, as well as the author also wet. Anil's money. In the morning he would probably have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema. But now I had it all. I could not cook his meals, run to the bazaar, or learn to write whole sentences anymore. Now he was thinking that now he has robbed Anil, he has done very bad. Anil would have given me 2 or 3 rupees to go to the cinema and watch a movie. But now he had nothing. He was only left with those 600 rupees. I had forgotten about them in the excitement of theft. This means that now he was repenting that he can learn how to write whole sentences and go to the bazaar or enjoy his life. In order he wanted theft. Whole sentences, I knew, could one day bring me more than a few hundred rupees. It was simple matter to steal, and sometimes just as simple to be caught. But it was really big man, a clever and respected man, was something else. I should go back to Anil, I told myself, if only to learn to read and write. Now the narrator is thinking to go back to Anil and tell him everything. I hurried back to the room, feeling very nervous, for it is much easier to steal something than to return it undetected. Now he is saying that, narrator is saying that it is very easy to steal anything, but it is very difficult to keep that thing at its place without being detected. I opened the door quietly, then stood in the doorway in clouded moonlight. Anil was still asleep. I crept to the head of the bed, and my hand came up with the notes. I felt his breath on my hand. I remained still for a minute. Now he felt a breath of Anil on his hand, but he remained still for a minute. Then my hand fought the edge of the mattress and slipped under it with the notes, and then he slipped his hand under the mattress and kept the notes there. I awoke late next morning to to find that Anil had already made the tea. Now he woke late in the morning, so Anil had already made the tea. He stretched out his hands towards me. There was a 50 rupee note between his fingers. Now Anil stretched his hands towards the young boy with a 50 rupees notes in his fingers. My heart sank. I thought, I have been discovered. I made some money yesterday. Now Anil said that he has made some money yesterday. Now you will be paid regularly. My spirits rose, but when I took the note, I saw it was still wet from the night's rain. Now when he touched the note, he found that the note was still wet due to the rain which came last night. He said, today we will start writing sentences. He said. Now Anil replied that today we will start writing sentences. He knew, but neither his lips nor his eyes showed anything. I smiled at Anil in my most appealing way, and the smile came by itself without any effort. Now the narrator thought that Anil knew everything, but he didn't show it, neither by his lips or his eyes. And he told him that we will learn sentences today. He just ignored the things what the boy did, the narrator did, and he only said him that we will learn sentences today. And due to this response, the narrator gave a very appealing response. He smiled at the boy Anil. And now this is the end of the chapter. This was a chapter written by Ruskin Bond. So thank you.